Hola, bom dia. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. Bon dia alegria, I should say to you, as we greet the world from the Silver Coast, live from the Silver Coast here in Portugal. And I'm quite concerned to see that nobody has said hello, apart from this one troublemaker, Maria Costa, who reduced myself and Gary to gibbering Rex yesterday morning with a perfectly inoffensive comment or question, or was it Maria Costa? That's up on, I've uploaded that little segment. It was hilarious. Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria Costa, for asking a very straightforward question, really, or making a statement that you're missing the blessing of the helmets in Fatima, and you're looking forward to the same sometime soon. So, yes, go to our YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody who's taken us well over 7,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Lots of resource there for anybody thinking of moving to Portugal. That's what we're about here on the Good Morning Portugal show, and, of course, at expatsportugal.com. helping you move to Portugal and helping you enjoy your life here once you've got here. And let me go straight to the north now. Bon dia from a currently overcast Povoa de Vagima. I always love how you give us a weather report as well as a greeting, Mark Rigby, who I understand you were celebrating your birthday yesterday. So a very happy belated birthday to you for yesterday. Parabéns, I must say. Won't sing for you right now because my voice has already got a little bit of a frog in it or something going on there. But don't worry. Got some wine here. I could drink that, couldn't I? And refresh myself this morning. That's part of the content this morning. And after the hilarity and exertion of yesterday morning, here on Thursday, Places and Spaces Thursday here in Portugal, I've got so much to share with you. So I'm going to not go at it, but like, you know, an adrenaline sport this morning. Going to go at it in a more seemly manner. This morning, leisurely and seemly, I think, are the key words for this morning's episode. So grab a cuppa, take it easy, sit back and relax. And we're going to, no, please, people are trying to start me off again like yesterday. Hope you are going to hold it together today. It's like a child, isn't it? Daddy, will you be able to hold it together today? Not repeat yesterday. I'll do my best, honestly. But so much to tell you about today. Okay, so the headliners today are the aforementioned Cortem, organic wine producer. Turns out they're neighbors of mine. Couldn't believe it. I'm trying to organize an interview with them. These guys are in our business directory on Expats Portugal under food and wine, and quite rightly so, because they are producers of excellent wine in this well, I suppose it's the Silver Coast / Alcobaça wine-making region, and I'll tell you about the history of it as we go to that feature, that spotlight feature on Places and Spaces Portugal this morning, and also Tiago from Amargo. I quite like the poetic and rhyming ring to that, and so Cortem Wines and Tiago from Amargo, also on the Silver Coast. It's quite Silver Coast inspired this morning. There's no surprise there because I just moved here and I'm discovering many delights of this area that I wish to share with you. What was that? However, that's incoming, I think. However, we also will have a little bit of a trip to the Bairrada region as well, because Andy has sent me some beautiful visuals and a slow motion video of the most amazing, what looks like a hummingbird. It's a particular kind of moth. I'm going to give you the name of it, so stand by for this as well. There is a moth video. I don't know, that doesn't sound very exciting when I put it like that, a moth video. But I have to say, what is this? Just saw this in the garden, says Andy, whilst cutting a hedge. Apparently, it's a broad-bordered beehawk moth. I thought it was a hummingbird butterfly. Never seen one up this way before. I believe they get them down south. It didn't seem bothered with me sticking me phone up its proboscis, says Andy. So that video to come as well. It's amazing. And incredible what you could do. I mean, the technology to capture something as beautiful as that years ago would have been hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of cameras and optical equipment. He's done it on his phone and sent it to me by the wonder of WhatsApp. So we've got that to come as well. That lovely bit of flora and fauna, I should say there. New Life in the Sun are looking for people who want to be on that telly show. You know, we've spoken, I think it was the show that Simon Gotto of the Rex Bar, also near me on the Silver Coast in Obidos, was on. And we spoke to him about that, didn't we? And how he was opening a business and the pandemic hit straight away. Possibly another pandemic affected business. There is the chip shop in Lisbon. It's what's it called? It's called the Chippy. That's what it says on the label there. The Chippy Fish and Chips in Lisbon. Bad news there is it's closing down, but the good news is it will be open for the rest of this month. If you want to try tartar sauce, looking like it's homemade there, some finely battered cods, possibly, maybe I don't know. Maybe do people still have cod in fish and chips, or is it haddock? Pickled eggs. Now, I do love a pickled egg myself. I think I have a pub record for it, and this is when I was a child. When I think I ate into double figures of pickled eggs, pretty constipated for weeks after that. But little did the men care who were constantly feeding me pickled eggs in bags of crisps, which was my favourite snack as a quite plump 10-year-old, I think. That I still have the record there at the Fox in Juniper, which probably doesn't exist anymore, the Fox in Juniper, in the border of Oxfordshire and Northamptonshire. But anyway, I digress. The Chippy Chip Shop, we'll tell you a little bit about that because you've got 29 days to enjoy that. It's closing down on July the 29th, but you can get there before then, I hope, and put a little bit of money in Justin Brown's pocket. We'll find out the backstory to that. Tell you about what's happening tonight on the webinar, of course. What else do we have? Oh, and Les, of course. Les, the wonderful man. Let me just pop this on the screen to put this into context. And, of course, all your lovely comments and questions on Places and Spaces Thursday. But we'll have a song from Les. It's a Frank Sinatra number today. We'll probably go out with that today. Now, where's my graphic of Les? Stamps, not underwear. This is Les. It's his 90th birthday. He and I, fellow Cancerians, my birthday's coming up. So is Les's. In a few days' time, about 10 days' time. 90 here again on the Silver Coast. It's a Silver Coast special on Places and Spaces Thursday. He's a stamp collector, and his daughter Sally thought it might be rather nice. Les has been singing to people throughout the pandemic on Facebook. Does one number a week, and we'll play you his number for this week as we go out today. And Sally thought it'd be really nice if we could send him birthday cards from around the world to celebrate his 90th, because he loves the stamps on them as well. So if you are going to do that, you can get in touch with Sally. I'll tell you more about that later on, but they're already coming in, the birthday cards. I think some of them from our community, which is absolutely wonderful. They are coming in from around the world, which is lovely. And I did tell you, didn't I, about Nina as well, who we interviewed up in Castelo Branco. People were doing a bit of a pay it forward and buying the kids up there a hot dog in advance. So that when the kids went in for their hot dogs with Nina, who's an amazing person, if you saw that interview, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But the kids in Castelo Branco walk in there, and she's able to tell them that somebody in America's bought you a hot dog. Isn't that amazing? So big up to all you big-hearted people in this community. Let's talk to a few of you now. Oh, Maria's saying, I have some very nice stamps I will send on. How lovely, Maria. Can you imagine that? And, hopefully we'll all make it to 90 and far beyond. And wouldn't it be lovely to think that something like that might happen when you're 90, that people, complete strangers, sending you birthday cards from around the world. How lovely. Okay, so let's see how you're all doing before we go to Tiago from Amargo, which is a lemon farm, really, essentially, and pig farm that he inherited from his father, who sadly passed away. But he's looking for well, I think he's got a lot of inspiration, but he would like a bit of feedback, I think, from our community. We'll get him on the show one day. He's been a bit shy so far, but I want to tell you about what he's doing. We'll go to Cortem Organic Wines, just up the road from me. We will tell you about the New Life in the Sun, the Chippy, that's sadly shutting down in Lisbon, but you'll still be able to go there. And we will begin with your comments this morning. So, yes, Stephen, I will do my best to hold it together. Elra is here from Finland. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Elra. Jim White, Baltimore, bon dia. Namaste, Dave, in Porto, right? Bon dia to you. Stephen, hello. Stephen Wells. Thunderduck, bon dia, todos. Shall I have a little sip of water? I'm tempted to open the wine, but that could be messy in many ways. Let's face it. Bon dia todos from Thunderduck. Thunderduck's here this morning. And yes, Mark Rigby, whose birthday it was yesterday. Let's find out what sort of day you've had in due course. Victoria Benson, Atlanta, Georgia. What time is it there, Victoria? But I think things are moving in the right direction for you, are they not? And you'll be here with us sometime soon. Gary Austin, morning, Mr. Giggles. Yeah, it was really good medicine, I have to say, yesterday, Gary. And thank you. Oh, yeah, incidentally, a lot of love for Gary. Isn't he a wonderful man, Mr. Austin? The man of reason from the man cave, the man of love, the fairy godfather, all kinds of him working in wonderful ways in our community from various angles. And he was loved yesterday when he appeared on the show, as he always is when he comes in from various directions, usually in a place of beauty and nature. And he was talking to us from the Parc de Merendas near Alvazara yesterday, and request to have Gary back. So our management talked to each other last night. My people spoke to Gary's people to try and figure out a contract, a deal. And you know what Gary's like. He'll probably want M&Ms, all blue M&Ms in a bowl, that sort of thing. 6 bottles of cider, a couple of pies in the dressing room. So that we let our management teams work that out. And what we've come up with is Gary's going to join us when he feels moved to, like a sagely Quaker. He will speak when moved, and he will join us. So we do have an assurance from Gary's team and management that he will join us. But it's going to be on instead of a regular basis, like some of our folks, like the Doc, like Michael Heron, like Frank, like Jenny tomorrow, Feel Good Friday. She'll be back tomorrow for a bit of Feel Good Friday. And I think she's feeling really good right now, if you know what I mean. Gary will come in on a special event basis. Okay, so looking forward to Gary's continued input, but it will be not on a regular weekly or fortnightly or monthly basis. It will be when he's got something he's been working on and wants to share with us. So we're delighted to hear that, Gary. Vino Breakfast of Champions. Yes, I have a choice of the orange wine that they make. We did try orange wine on the wine club from the Massanita Empire. And also a red featuring the Touriga Nacional, which if without the wine club, I would never even know that Touriga Nacional was the champion grape of Portugal. So we'll talk about those in a while. Jacqueline Branco, hola, bon dia to you, Jacqueline Branco. I found out about very Silver Coast focus this morning. Found the flavors of Britain. I don't think it's called that. Is it Sabores of Portugal, possibly opposite the Levi shopping centre in Caldas de Rainha? But I found out where the Brit store is now, so I'll be popping in there for a bit of Marmite and some beans, I suspect, at some point. And a good morning from a beautiful Gairish Obidos from Jacqueline this morning. Lovely to hear from you, Jacqueline. Susan Renshaw, normally of Torres Vedras, but a good morning from a sunny Hertfordshire this morning, back in the UK for a while. Mark Stoll, hope it's going well for you, Susan. Mark Stoll, a little late to this group, but great to join and be able to drop in. Usually have to listen in while working, though. Rescheduling diary to listen in every morning. Oh, that's really sweet of you, Mark. Thank you very much for going to that amount of effort. I really do appreciate that. Life is changing slowly, isn't it? People are getting back to, I don't know, normality is too much of a stretch, isn't it? But I know people are getting out and about a bit more. People are returning to work. And things aren't as they were when we first started, when everyone was locked in and I had a captive audience. So I appreciate people moving their diaries around just to listen to us. And of course, we are available on YouTube and Facebook if you do miss anything, and a podcast as well. Many thanks from Mark Rigby for the well wishes. My birthday was on the 29th of June. Oh, okay, a couple of days ago, which without design turns out to be Pavor de Vajim's municipal holiday, celebrating St. Peter's Day, given that it is a major fishing port. St. Peter, patron saint of fishermen. Given that, this is a major fishing port, the Pavor de Vajim also featured in the museum that I talked about yesterday, the José Malheur Museum has a Pavor de Vajim seascape in it. Well, 2 days ago, and the whole town took the day off in your honour. That's amazing. St. Peter and Mark there. A holy name, Mark, of course, a hallowed name. So yes, very good. Sounds like you had a good day, but might have with the restaurants open. That's the main thing, Mark, to find out. And did you have any sardines? I guess if it was the fishing town special holiday, some sardines may have been enjoyed there. Colin, good morning to you, Colin. Great to talk to you and Hakim the other day. Bon dia todos from London there, West London. Joel, bon dia to you, my friend. How are you this morning? We used to go to a Portuguese, was she going to try and do it again to us, Gary, here this morning, I wonder? Maria Costa, we used to go to a Portuguese restaurant in Toronto. That's how they say it, Toronto, that served a fizzy red wine from the Bairrada region. We've never been able to find it. Is fizzy red wine a thing in Portugal? Yes, it was one of the least enjoyed, I have to say, Maria. It was one of the least enjoyed wines that we tried. And it has its moments, but I don't think it's a open it up at home whilst you're chilling out kind of wine. Really, I think its ideal pairing is with the Leital, the suckling pig, which is also the great signature dish of the Bairrada region, where we will be popping in this morning to see Andy's hummingbird-like moth that he sent to us. But yeah, red wine, red fizzy wine is definitely a thing in Portugal, definitely the Bairrada region, and an acquired taste, or for a special occasion, a particular pairing. I wouldn't call it everyday drinking by any means, and the wine club did struggle with it, if I remember rightly. Leah H, hola bon dia alegria to you. Very good, Leah H. That's how we roll. That's our motto here. Ian Turner, morning all. Sunny here in Hertfordshire. So off for a walk, and we'll catch up later. Have a good one. Well, isn't that nice? And thanks for your email, Ian. We're working behind the scenes on the Growing Old Disgracefully health, fitness, well-being, vitality program, call it what you will, but it's all about old giffers keeping in shape, basically, the aging, remaining magnificent. And that's what Ian and I are working on. Phil Cooklin, also, yes, we'll come back to you in just a moment, Snaddy Phil, but also behind the scenes, we are working on the Portugal plan, the Expats Portugal plan. Tonight, it's Ask Our Expats on the webinar. Let's just talk about that for a moment, and we can cross that off our massive list this morning. But Thursday, the first Thursday of every month, that's the word I'm looking for, is the Ask Our Expats social, okay, where some of the team, might be all of them, might be a couple of them, those who are booked in for tonight for the Ask Our Expats special, the first Thursday of every month, are there at your service. You can book them anytime on our website in the Ask Our Expats, under the Ask Our Expats tab. And people have had some great value asking about the lifestyle and the location of these particular people. They'll be on the call tonight, and you'll be able to go and get a room, as it were, with them, and talk to them about their part of Portugal and get a first-hand testimony, experience, reflections of their life in Portugal, which I think is a really useful service. And I'll be in I'm happy to talk about Silver Coast as much as I know it now, and the Bairrada region from where I was previously, but I'd also like to talk to people about who would be interested in our new Expats Portugal plan, which is the step-by-step handheld route to moving to Portugal, a new service that we're introducing. So I'll be there to talk about that this evening. Just book on, go to our tab of webinars on the website, expatsportugal.com, and book yourself in. And we'll see you there this evening. It's one of the most open ones. I mean, some of them we limit the numbers for reasons of intimacy, if that's a right way of putting it. But tonight it tends to be a big crowd because we split up into rooms, and then you can focus down and tune into the particular part of Portugal you're interested in. So look forward to seeing you there tonight. Phil, yes, thank you for sending me pictures of your hardware yesterday. Hola, bon dia, alegria from Phil, who was a fabulous guest last week. Of course, you may know him as Snaddy Phil. Okay, let's scroll back up. Lots of lovely comments coming in. Oh, I have some very nice stamps. I will send one. We did that before, but that's great. I really appreciate that, Maria, that you sending a birthday card to Les. Jacqueline Branco, people who celebrate birthdays in July are amazing people. It's true, Jacqueline. Absolutely true. I take it you might be one of them. Yes, let us know. Seriously, anyone who's having a birthday should let us know here so that we can all send you birthday wishes, okay? I was sorry to have missed Mark Rigby's, but we managed to make belated birthday wishes today. So, yeah, if it's your birthday, let us know. Some of the Cortem wines had Terence's artwork on them. Not sure if they have changed. Well, okay. So maybe that's the great Terence Austin's work on that label. That's fantastic. Lovely place. Tell you about it in a little while after we've said hello this morning. Jim McDonald, bon dia todos de Wiesbaden, Alemania. And Germany. Didn't we play them at the football recently? England, that is, not Portugal. Donna, morning, Jim, by the way. Bon dia from a fellow Cancerian on Terceira Island. So it would appear there's quite a few. What have we got? What did we have? We had a load of, we appear to have quite a few cool Cancerians here. And we've had a bit of a what is the collective now? A herd of Taurians as well, I think. But Mrs. M's the expert on that sort of thing. Margarita Lopez, hola, bon dia to you, Margarita. Lovely to find out more about you and your profession. One of the greatest in the world, I would have to say. Paul Richards, greetings from San Rafael in the sunny Algarve, where the birds sing your favorite songs. Okay, so yesterday, this is Paul's continued efforts to join the Algarve Tourist Board copywriting department. Yesterday, I think he was talking about how the flowers open to say hello, and where the birds sing your favourite songs as well today. What will it be tomorrow, I wonder? Thank you, Paul. Good morning, all, from John Rooney. Getting very excited over there in the UK. About to hit the road, Portugal bound. How's it going, John? How's that packing going? Your company, Algarve Removals, was it? Very thorough. When I saw what they did to your vacuum cleaner. Stephen Wells, well, good luck with the move. Bon voyage, John Rooney. Happy sailing, whichever way you're coming. Gary, it's been a while, Austin. Yes, I think that's what pushed me over the edge. The chance would be a fine thing. Throwaway comment there. Yeah, wasn't that hilarious? Thank you for all your lovely comments, everyone. Gary, well deserved, as to be said. Gary Austin, solid bloke. And while we're on the matter of the word solid, I heard my son Digby, he's into gaming, and he watches a lot of gaming videos, which is the way of things now. I mean, I was never much of a gamer, but my pals used to be on the Atari, but they would never have thought of, there may have been a little gaming feature on the news once in a while, which would probably ruin things, because once it's got to the evening news, we're reporting tonight on the amazing craze enjoyed by young people called gaming. One story. Now, go on YouTube, and there's loads of people trying to make a living telling kids what games to play. They're like big kids, aren't they? Grown men who are playing games. And I don't mean to sound patronizing there, although I probably did. And who am I to cast aspersions, throw nasturtiums, as somebody who's a bit of a YouTuber as well? But anyway, I heard a lot of them. Excuse me. I heard a lot of them. I have heard a lot of them, and a lot of them are American. And somebody said, I heard out of the corner of my ear, hey, thank you. You've really done me a solid there. I think it was on one of the gaming videos, so maybe I'm thinking of something else. But you've done me a solid, which I think is a good thing, right? Can our American friends confirm that? Gary Austin, the solid bloke, and this idea of doing someone a solid. That's like doing someone a really good favor, I hope, right? Okay, I might have got myself into some embarrassing territory. But over there in America, it's Atlanta, Georgia. It's a very dark 12 minutes, or it was. It's 23 minutes past 4 in the morning now in Atlanta, Georgia, in Victoria as well. That's amazing, Victoria. 10 out of 10 for your efforts, 11 out of 10 for your efforts. That's because America forgot to pay the electric bill. Joel never misses an opportunity to make his feelings known about America. The Gibsons, John Gibson. Yes, need to talk to you, John. Gibson's checking in from Sines, loving Portugal, heading north today. Yes, indeed. And Jerry drew my attention to your wonderful testimony about enjoying your time here in Portugal. And I think it sounds like you should be on the morning show with us one morning if you care to join us. That would be lovely. Carl, going for the second pirocolina. What is that, please, Joe? What is a pirocolina? Is that a jab? I wonder. The inoculation. Drew, bon dia, minha querida comunidade. Oh, look at the Drew saying good morning to my lovely community. Wonderful. Thank you, Drew. John Gibson, Paul, the Algarve is wonderful. Perfect weather yesterday. Carl, that's because you still haven't grasped your inner nerd side. Feel the force, Carl. What was I complaining about? Is that account for my little frog in my throat? Or because I'm not a gamer? I wonder. Bon dia from Louise. Hello, Louise. How are you? I used Algarve removals. They were great, says Louise. And I just had ping pong, tennis, and an old Amstrad computer. Sad. I would call it classic and vintage rather than sad, Paul. You could make a YouTube video about it and people would watch it. If you've still got your ping pong console, your Atari or whatever it is, and your old Amstrad, if you crank that up and video it, people will watch that. Believe me. And you might even be able to get, what's his name on there? Alan Sugar, mightn't you? Who made a fortune selling terrible computers, let's face it. And you probably still had floppy disks, didn't you? I actually saw a 3.5-inch floppy strewn on a country lane. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why is this 3.5 floppy disk, which if a child sees it, they think it's fallen from outer space. I mean, what is that thing? Let alone 5 3/4 floppies with the little catch that you had to push it in, thinking you might fold it in half. and then you shut the catch, and then things whir and crunch, especially if it's an Amstrad computer. But nothing wrong with that. Not sad at all, Paul, in my view. Yes, a solid, says David. Oh, Dave, is a good thing. Okay, so you did me a solid. 3:30 for David. There's commitment as well. Slightly beating by an hour there, Victoria. Would love to. John, okay, let's get our people to speak to your people. Fantastic. John, let's get you on the show when it suits your itinerary. Sounds like you're busy. One of my dearestly closest friends over in Australia is also a crabby. Lol. Yes, Cancerians. Maybe you get on well with Cancerians, Gary. I like to think you and I are soul-matey kind of buddies. And maybe, because it does work like that, doesn't it? If you find yourself gravitating to a particular kind of star sign, sun sign, because you aren't a gamer. Duh! Okay, all right, Joel, easy, man. What's the matter? Haven't you had your third coffee this morning? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, to do a solid means to do something kind or helpful for someone. And you could be forgiven for thinking it was something entirely different. But yes, I guess a good turn, a solid deed. Okay, well, I think we've got to the bottom of doing a solid. And I honestly didn't ask that just so that I could make that crass comment. It just came out of me like it does. I still have an Atari 2600. I bought a retro Atari console for the kids at Christmas, actually. That was my little foray into gaming after many years. Good fun to play the Space Invaders, but an Atari 2600. Is that because you use it for music? Because they were also used for music, weren't they? Dusty Tables is here. What a lovely moniker that is. Good afternoon from Vicky in China. Hello, Vicky in China. Looking forward to hear about the silver. Yeah, I better get on with it. Okay, Dusty, that's a nice reminder. Morning, people from Lee McGrady. Thank you, Dusty. Thank you, Lee. Andrew Gilchrist is here. And don't you worry, because Andrew Gilchrist and Margarita will be canoodling in the comments before long. Hello, my darling. Hola, querida. You watch. 5.25, not 5.75. All right, 5 1/4, 3 1/2, whatever. David, that was before you were born anyway. I'm sure it wasn't it 5 3/4. Hey, there you go. Look, hey, husband from sunny Lisbon. Look, they're at it already. Get a room, you two. I still have a Sony floppy disk camera. 3 1/2. The camera must be big to fit a 3 1/2 disc into it. This is inches we're talking about, folks. Took 12 shots on a disc and still works. When shots were sparing. Do you remember that, Paul? I mean, when you took your 12 exposure film to the chemist and you had to pick it up a week later. These kids don't know they're born, do they? Hey, look, there we go. Hey, babe. Hey, stop it, you two. Joel, I avoid drinking coffee. It makes me rant even more. Yeah, we don't want that, do we? Stay on the water then, my friend. Where are people posting the video testimonials? I'd do one. Louise, this is about Expats Portugal. Well, I mean, I'm inviting John to come onto the show, but what John's done, I believe, is posted in the forum. His love of Portugal and just reflections on being here. But perhaps you're right. Perhaps we need to set up a more formal way of doing that. I'll be in touch. There's a lot of work for my people to do, i.e. me later on today. I bet none of the youngsters have seen a 3-inch floppy. Careful saying things like that, Stephen. I don't know how you would quite put that. Let's just move on. Let's move away from the world of hard drives and floppies and talk now about the Silver Coast, shall we? Where should we go to first? I'm feeling like I should just get the quick thing, get the low-hanging fruit, and that's what the Silver Coast valleys are all about, the low-hanging fruit. I mean, the smell of apples and pears is in the air, I'll let you know. It's a beautiful day here as I look out of the window into the garden. Beautiful sunny day here in the Silver Coast. Not much silver about it. The mist has cleared. What little there was this morning. So yeah, the chippy, okay. Here's the news from Lisbon. Justin Brown says the chippy closing on July the 29th. Hi all, this will be my last post. I want to let you know I have decided to make the difficult decision to permanently close the chippy on July the 29th. This is sad news indeed. It's been a great ride and the support has been incredible, as you would imagine, right? With the new restrictions in place and the high rents, it's becoming infeasible to stay open as a business, and we will be moving on to pastures new. We want to know, Justin, what your pastures new will be. I think people will want to continue to support you. I wanted to let everyone know that we'll be open for 1 more month only, 7 days a week. So he's going out with a bang. and a batter. 12 p.m. till 10 p.m. People in hospitality work hard, don't they? So I would really appreciate the support. We want to go out with a bang. So if you've not been, come visit us. And if you have been, come see us again before we leave. We want to make the last month epic, and your support would be amazing. Please spread the word, and please come and get your fish and chips fixed before July the 29th. July the 29th will be our last day of operation. I hope to see you all soon. Many thanks, Justin. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put it on the screen for you whilst I have a sip of water. And you know how we make ourselves very hungry here on the Good Morning Portugal show. I'm going to do that to you now, if my tech will allow it, because I've got all sorts of tabs and browsers open this morning for your viewing and listening pleasure. Oh, there it goes. There's the chippy. So I'm just going to scroll through this, right, whilst I'm having a sip of tea. Sip of water, I beg your pardon. Look at that. Look at that. Really beautiful. Oh, man. Lemons, there's a connection. We could use that as a little production cue to talk about Tiago from Amargo in just a moment. But Sarson's vinegar, big jar of pickled eggs, lovely thick wedge of lemon there to go on the fish and chips. And so if you want to know where it is, where are we? The Chippy Lisbon is located inside the WEAT, the Wheat Gastronomic Hub's local beer battered fish wrapped in paper. not just as in to transport them. That's not part of the recipe. Homemade chips using the best quality local potatoes. Is anyone else's mouth watering yet? Sarson's malt vinegar, homemade sides. That'll be the tartar sauce, won't it? Oh my word! Pies, Scotch eggs, as well as pickled eggs. By the look of it, classic desserts, and even our own chippy beer. And here are the pics here. Look at that, some homemade sausage going on there. Haddock and chips. It's not cod. What's that there? A Chippy's chicken burger. So they do a lovely looking chicken burger there, which is like the panada de frango, I guess, done in a chippy style. Look at that Scotch egg with a perfectly runny yolk in it. Oh my goodness. Chicken and mushroom, steak and kidney, or minced beef and onion. Look, that's a beautiful Instagram page, isn't it? And more. What are those other sides there? That's not tartar. He's dipping his fish into something else there. And look at those lovely Scotch eggs. Oh my word. Okay. So that's the Doca do Espanol, the Wheat Gastronomic Hub. So I'm still no better off. I don't know which part of Lisbon that is, and that they've got their own Chippy label beer as well, craft beer as well at the Chippy. Really nice enterprise that, and I hope Justin is able to find more conducive surroundings in due course to continue that lovely business. Victoria agreeing with me. Look at that. Perfect eggs. Wow. Thank you for this, Gary. Coffee just makes me go to the loo more. That's why you should drink this. Don't drink a big Americano. That will be. Actually, I don't know if he's talking about a number one or a number two there. And really, I shouldn't be thinking that out loud, should I? Or even asking that. People are still talking about floppies in there. Let me just catch up. Hola, bon dia from London. Capricorn 12. Good Morning Portugal is a fantastic way to start the day. Thank you very much, Capricorn 12. I think, talking of jingles, this is coming up tomorrow. Maybe we can get Owen and Jenny to do us, a fantastic way to start the day. This is tomorrow's jingle. Check this out. Come on. What are you doing, Audacity? Oh, it's not coming out of the right orifice at the moment. Why is it doing it like that? It may be that I can't bring that to you, but that is Capricorn 12. That is a really nice idea for a jingle, isn't it? Good Morning Portugal, a fantastic way to start the day. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do the jingles and leave it to Owen with.
It's feeling good Friday.
Waving a beat to drop.
It's feeling good Friday. It's Friday. Feeling good on a Friday with Cal Munson and Jenny Dean.
not actually Thursday. It's not actually Friday. It's Thursday, and it's Places and Spaces Thursday. But there's a preview for tomorrow. Isn't that good? I hope you were hearing that like I was. Otherwise, I'd have looked like a bit of a lunatic just swaying here and waving my arms in the air. I hope you could hear that. Okay, thank you, Capricorn 12. Yes, Good Morning Portugal. A fantastic way to start there. Really appreciate that. Stephen Wells. Actually, I've seen bigger. Oh, a school friend of mine had one that he brought from South Africa. Those things needed a suitcase just to store the diskettes. Isn't it funny? You never know quite where the conversation is going to go on the Good Morning Portugal show. We're talking about the biggest floppies now. Costa da Prata is a region in the central Western Portugal that consists of beaches and fishing towns stretching from Bairrada de Esmoriz to Santa Cruz with a length of approximately 240 kilometers. There you go, Margarita. Thank you for that. I don't know where that comment has actually arisen from, but there's a nice little shout out for the Costa da Prata there. Gary Austin, Maloa had a house in Figueira de Vinhos, which is beautiful and is now a museum open to the public. Lovely town, which was an inland resort in times gone by. It is a fantastic town, Figueira de Vinhos. And it's got a medieval feel to it, isn't it? And there's that incredible cafe in the town there with it feels like it's made entirely of stone, all cobbled inside. Very nice. And that would have been part of the resort vibe there. Thank you for that. That's what we come here for. A little bit of intel like that. Put that on your list. Figueira de Vinhos in central Portugal there. 8-inch floppies. Joel will have you know. And it's sad that the chippy is closing. It is, isn't it? And I guess we have to just encourage Justin, the chip chop proprietor there, to carry on in some way. Because I'm seeing these, what are they called? Like dark shops, dark restaurants are they called? Where it's all about delivery. Because of the overheads and the circumstances, society is changing. So maybe he will go into dark operation, not have a retail frontage, and it might be delivery. Who knows? That's what a lot of people in hospitality are doing until we miss it, and then they'll bring back the proper restaurants and cafes, won't they? It's all part of this roller coaster ride of humanity, basically. Yeah, perfect eggs. Wow, that is a perfect Scotch egg, isn't it? When it's still a little bit runny inside. Stop the food shot. Sorry about that. Just what's that? Just bathing my Argavine boiled eggs. Is that a way of talking about eggs? But I'm just bathing my eggs, or maybe just boiling them. I'm not sure there, but I quite like that. That just sounds like one of those pretentious menus, doesn't it? Agavine eggs bathed in agua, i.e. a boiled egg. Gary Austin, Brunel's and Via Vai, just north of me in Alvazra, do some fantastic fish and chips. There you go, Brunel's and Via Vai. And of course, what's she called? Aromatica. I'm sure our friend Arwen does the occasional fish and chips there as well. Randomly, waking up at 3:30 is part of getting old, right, Carl? How dare you? My first PC was a 486. I remember numbers like that. There were 486s and 386s, weren't they? It had a 3.5 external drive. I had friends with 5 1/4 externals. Ooh, the envy. Floppy envy there, by the sound of it. If it is part of getting old, it's not happening to me. In many ways, I'd really like to start waking up early. And I think that is, to be fair, that is something that I know seniors say. And I think I'm a little way off that yet. But it's all relative, isn't it? David Durham, I mean, he's getting his own back because I do patronize him occasionally, calling him a youngster in his 40s. So I guess he's just responding to me in kind there. But it is, let us know, you older folks, is that what you find? Is that the trend that you wake up earlier and earlier? Or is it just like Gary, because you have to get up and go to the loo? Thank you, Joel. Pete's here as well. Hello, Pete. Morning all. Up at 7, building Peru Colditch. Garvo, you can drink all you want. There you go. That's a complex comment there with many aspects to it. So I think Pete sounds like he's keeping turkeys. What is that? Like 5 months ahead of time, possibly. Pete, is that what's happening? I need a better system for Jimmy Chew as well. I thought I'd enclosed him to stop his wandering, but he's found a way out. So maybe we need to swap notes on animal enclosures. Well, that's trippy, says Victoria. It probably is at 4:30 in the morning as well, isn't it? But yeah, I was expecting the beat to come in at any moment. Feel good Friday. But we'll see. We'll see what the remix turns out like of that. Coffee is fine. for you with your awesomely placed urinal and wine catheter. Too much information, Pete. I think the turkey enclosure's gone to your head there, sir. Capricorn 12, I agree. That's very nice. Carl's having a rave. It did feel like it for a moment. I was selling computers in 1994, says Phil. An entry level was 486. Sparked so many memories here. The DX266. You can imagine, Phil, can't you? We recommend this entry level 486 DX266. You seem the ideal candidate for this particular machine. It would look very good in your office. You'd be the envy of all your friends. And it's yours for only $999. Mouse extra. And in those days, people, you like a mouse mat, like a car mat, it's something a bit special, wasn't it? And Phil probably said that. I'll tell you what, I'll throw in the mouse mat if you take it today. Am I right, Phil? Morning, Louisa. Is Mrs. M here? Because she was going to bring me a coffee in, which could be pretty good at some point. Carl, looking like a loony. That wouldn't be a surprise. Thank you, Joel. Sounds a bit weird. Sci-fi. It's a bit weird sci-fi. I'm loving it. And Mark Ruby, the restaurants were open and I enjoyed a lovely meal with friends. See photo of Pavor de Vajim Camara, decorated to celebrate St. Peter's Day, displaying Viva San Pedro. Long live St. Peter. Carl, photo sent to your messenger. I will have a look now. And yes, thank you very much, Mark. You're absolutely right. And we've got a few pictures that have come in. I always love this. So I'm going to celebrate your birthday, albeit belatedly. Let's pop that up. The picture of the camera. I will put that in line to be shared with you. And I need to, 20 to 10 already. Oh my goodness. Okay. Where are we? Let's get going. We haven't even talked about Cortem or Amargo. This always happens, doesn't it? Have we just been talking to each other in the comments this morning? Dave, okay, quick. Maybe I'm up early because I messed up and had 2 meals yesterday instead of my usual 1 meal a day. You are sounding like an old person now, David, when you say things like that, honestly. Oh, I should stick to my 1 meal. My 2 meals might have messed up my rhythms. Come on, man. You're 40 or odd years of age. 3.5-inch floppies. Pretty useless in all forms. You say that now, but it was cutting edge at one point. Hope you're feeling fit, Louisa. That is quite a trek on Saturday. I'm not in the loop on this. Margarita Lopez, Costa de Prata. Oh, the Silver Coast. Sorry, whoops. I'm saying, what is that about? And it's what I'm actually talking about today. Thank you for that, Margarita. I feel quite embarrassed. Oh, they're all at it. I was barricading a couple of escaping pigs a couple of days ago. Oh, you got pigs? Phil, just finally for now, then let's go to Cortem Amargo. Well, we did have a branded mouse mat. My first sales meeting was like being in an episode of Star Trek. Oh, happy times. Haven't things changed in such a short space of time, Phil? Incredible. Okay, all right, so let's talk about Amargo and Cortem. We were going to go from the lemons in the fish and chips, aren't we, to the pictures of Amargo. So, okay, let me do that then. Let me put the Instagram of Amargo, because that's the best source of pictures I've got for you, from Tiago of Amargo, which is close to me. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about him, and we'll have him on the show at some point, young Tiago. But it's an interesting story that might benefit from your input, dear Good Morning Portugal peeps. Okay, so I'll just randomly move these up and down. So I'm just pausing for a moment. I've got a strange... and this may be too much information, but my right buttock gluteal muscle is pulsating for some unknown reason. It may, of course, be in tune with the Schumann resonance, which I believe is peaking at the moment. But I think it's stopping now. Anyway, Tiago from Amargo has been in touch with us. Okay, Project Amargo is what it's called. You can find it AMARGO, and I will put it. I'll put the link to that. Copy the hyperlink. Okay, I have a project that may interest expats, writes Tiago. My name is Tiago Oliveira Radamanto. I founded Amargo after my father's death, so he's inherited this business from his father who's passed here. I became the owner of the family home and a small set of pigs. And there's a nice coincidence with Louise's experience. Basically a small farm with almost a hectare. I had the dream of transforming this small farm into an agricultural hotel so that everyone can enjoy the peace that I have here. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Get to know the animals and, of course, the sun and the view and the Silver Coast, aforementioned. Amargo is located in a small village called Azambujeira Benedita, Alcobaça, in the district of, or the locality of Alcobaça in the west of Portugal. It's a beautiful rural area and so close to Lisbon, the capital, just 80 kilometers away. Close to the Ares and Candeiras mountain with lots of beaches nearby too. Foz de Lelo, San Martinho de Porto, Praia do Norte, Nazaré, and more. Some other interested locals are near too, like Óbidos, Salinas do Rio Maior, Alcobaça and Batalha Monastery and Leiria City and Castle. All this in 50 kilometers or less. Cracking, you see? That's a little bit of insight into the Silver Coast and all the pleasures of this place. So Tiago, and he will come on the show at some point, probably after the lemon harvest, okay? So the first idea was to start a small farm hotel with sustainable agriculture based around lemon trees. And that's why you're seeing all these pictures of lemon trees. And we'll scroll through those in a minute. And then, of course, hit by the pandemic. So he's had no support or loans to do the renovations that he wants to do. And he's reaching out, basically. And I know he's been trying a few different things like sponsor a lemon tree. And I think the idea, one of the ideas floating at the moment is to get involved with the pig-sty renovation and turn one of the little pig-sties into like a little boutique-y sort of residence. And I think you can get involved at the pre-renovation stage and maybe put your name on one of them. Look, you can see here people are naming lemon trees and they'll get the fruit when the time comes sent to them in the post. Isn't that a lovely idea? If life gives you lemons, make margaritas, he says there in that particular picture. But it's lovely. It's all about the lemons there. But there are pigs as well. And there are pig-sties. I don't think you have to share a room with a pig, but if that's your thing, then you probably could, I suspect, as well. So pigs, lemons, and the possibility of a stay here. Get in touch with Tiago, if you will, if you're interested in a pre-booking. This man needs a bit of help, I think, as many Portuguese businesses do. There's the Facebook link going into the comments now. And I think it's a lovely project worthy of support. His heart's really in the right place. We will get him on the show. But isn't it lovely? That looks a lovely place, lovely location here on the Silver Coast. And this renovation will begin soon on the pig-sties. And I think you can have some input into what they might look like. You know, kind of a pay-it-forward sort of thing where you can influence what your decor will be like by investing up front. Maybe it's a kind of pig-sty renovation timeshare. And then you can go and drink margaritas sat proudly outside your new partly owned venture. I'm putting words into Tiago's mouth here, or ideas into his mind. I don't know if that's exactly how it's going to turn out. But as you can see, lots of lemons to enjoy, lemonade, margaritas, gin and tonics, and produce and pigs to play with over there and at the Amargo project. So there you go. That's a little bit of a shout out for Tiago there. I think we should move on to Cortem now, the organic wine producer, happens to be my neighbor. So just up the road, we're out and about. We found a lovely little village called Vidais, Vidais. And so you talk about Silver Coast, and obviously, as it says in the name there, it's coastal. And people think about Nazaré and San Martinho de Porto and Foz de Aurelio. But the Silver Coast is also the valleys and the highlands back from the water, where all the fruit growing is currently taking place. I mean, the valleys and hills here are absolutely covered in orchards, but it hasn't always been this way, as too much coffee causes bottom vibrations. Okay, yes, but of that kind, I wonder. Okay, well, we do need to return to the comments perhaps before I go to Cortem here. And I do want to reread Margarita. I do think I still feel a little bit embarrassed about not understanding what you were sharing with me, which is absolutely the right thing to be sharing. Costa da Prata. Okay, yeah, Silver Coast region in central western Portugal that consists of beaches and fishing towns stretching from Bairrada de Esmoriz to Santa Cruz. I don't know either of those places, but I am familiar with some of the 240-kilometer Atlantic frontage that is the California of Europe, of course. So thank you for that, Margarita. I thought it was worthy of rereading. Let's have a look. Entry-level computers, restaurants in Pavor de Vargem and the camera. Oh, Sandy Green is here. Good morning to you, Sandy. The turkeys on Joseph's video, Pete. Okay, so there's the turkeys that are being talked about over up there in Fundão. Took the dog for an extra long walk this morning for training, looking at the Estrella Mountains in the background. A bit of chat. TMI, is up by vibrating bottoms, possibly. Too much coffee causes bottom vibrations. Okay, see, it's good that I mentioned it. Should you ever find yourself in that predicament, you will know why, possibly. Oh, it's beautiful up there. And I'm not talking about Carl's right buttock. Buttock resonance syndrome. Get with the B. Oh, BRS, of course. Oh, yes. I think I read about that somewhere. Not. What's my computer doing now? Bring plenty of sun cream and I will guide you as best I can. I have been smoking 40 a day in preparation, says Pete. Andrew Gilchrist, don't get me started on PCs. Oh, okay. Amargo is bitter. Very cool name. Didn't know that. Bit of vocab for you there. Very good. People liking the Amargo idea, I think. Do you guys have a metamucil? Is that for bottom vibrations or for helping you sleep at night, Dave? Phil Cooklin, not long for you to wait now. Countdowns are continuing all over the place. Isn't that fantastic? 3 dias for them, or for him, 3 days until he is reunited with Margarita. Can you imagine what the sparks that will fly between those two in 3 days' time? Don't dwell on that. Carl sent you a Facebook message. Read the camera picture. Okay, that's great. We'll come back to those. Pete Bleach, congrats. Have to meet for a beer if I'm still alive after Saturday morning with Louise. I think Pete's a bit worried about the arduous adventures that Louise may have in store. I began with a Pentium 2. Ooh! And after I realized that AMD, where the bang for the buck processors started to buck that. You're sounding very nerdy now, Joel. Heading to the Silver Coast for a few final days of our trip. Looking forward to our next adventure. Excellent. Okay, so back to the Silver Coast there. Thank you, everybody, for those. And Cortem, up in the hills. That's what I was talking about. Now, they are currently orchards everywhere. Smell of apples and pears. Really beautiful. A fantastic atmosphere at the moment. However, I was going along this little lane, top of the orchards, and I'm trying to find my way to Cortem so I can buy some bottles of wine from my neighbor, who I discovered recently is my neighbor. I've been wanting to interview Chris at Cortem. He's one of our advertisers at expatsportugal.com. Let's bring up his profile now so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I get to where I think they are along this ridge road at the top. So we're well back from the sea, well back from the Atlantic. And I'm going down this little lane and I see a man in a mask, which always makes it a little bit more difficult. And I roll down the window. Boa tarde, olá, boa tarde, tudo bem? Estão loja aqui. I'm trying to buy some wine. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, this guy might be English. Are you Chris? Yes, I'm Chris. It's Carl Munson. I've been trying to talk to you for ages, Chris, about your wines. Hello, come on, we're just labeling up some wines in the mini warehouse here. We've got a show coming up in Porto, and so it was my absolute delight to meet Chris yesterday and Helga, and find out more about what they do. And I believe I'll let Chris announce this in due course. I think there's a little bit of a change of leadership, and I think Chris is having a bit of a sabbatical coming up. But what an amazing thing he has created up there. Let's go to the visuals, shall we? Look at that. Organic farming, artisan winemaking. There's possibly one of Terence's labels there. Real craft stuff, okay? Val de Cortem, a small winery with 16 different grape varieties growing on only 5 hectares. It allows us to experiment with single variety wines as well as classical and new blends. So the Englishman there, English expat, he's 80. We were just talking. And he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a bit of a rest this coming year. I am 80," and I was like, "Wow, amazing! In incredible shape." And there's what drinking wine and growing wine does for you. Perhaps an older Dega has been rebuilt, and we will increase our vines to 8 hectares, allowing us to have larger lots of each wine. So that is in good hands. With Chris having a bit of a break, I think. And he said, "Go up and see Rita in the shop to buy the wine." So it was great. We bumped elbows, and I'm hoping to go out for lunch with Chris at some point and do a full-length interview with him, because I'm sure you'll agree this is an interesting man who started a business over here in Portugal, growing wine, going up against the existing, well, not against, but being among existing winemakers in Portugal. To me, that would be a very daunting prospect. But there he is. They've done it. They've been doing it. And it's an amazing enterprise that they've created. Let me show you some pictures of what goes on inside the shop. So again, I went in And lovely Rita is in the shop, and I'm talking to her in Portuguese again, and she's saying, "Do you want to speak English? It's okay." And it's like a massive relief. And here, after much perusing, is the lovely Mrs. M. Isn't she gorgeous? Look, there she is with our 2 bottles of wine that I've got here. I can put those either side if I do this right. There's one there and one there. There you go. There's 2 same bottles of wine that Mrs. M's got there, and they do wine tastings. Okay, 11:30 in the morning, I believe, and 3:30 in the afternoon. In my dry year, I might be driving the bus, mightn't I, for our pals who might want to come and do that. And look at this. That's the view. This is the little balcony at the back overlooking the valleys, which Chris told me were all vineyards at one point from the 12th century, I believe. The Alcobaça monks are rascals, aren't they, with how they get into all the booze. The Alcobaça monks had an incredible empire around here by the sound of it. And before the fruit came here, which you'll see in the Portuguese supermarkets, you will see maçã de Alcobaça, the Alcobaça apples. But before the apples and the orchards were planted, this is all wine growing country, apparently. And it would have been amazing. It's so still, so beautiful, so sunny, as you can see. And you'll be up on that terrace having a wine tasting if you would like to do that, drinking some of the lovely wines that you can see. My beautiful assistant here, my lovely wife, Mrs. M. Louisa, is holding there, and that is the lovely shop that they have at Cortem, the loggia that they have there. So I do hope I've done that justice this morning. A little bit of an introduction to Cortem wines. You can find out more about them on our website, and let me just put in the link to that before we go and have a look. Oh yeah, we got to go up to the Bairrada, to another legendary wine region, to look at Andy's hummingbird type moth. And a few other pics that have been sent in very kindly by you all this morning, which is fantastic. Okay, the link's going in. This is they're organic wines as well, I should add. Biológicos, single varieties, blended varieties. They do this orange wine here, which I'm looking forward to trying today before my dry year comes on the 7th of July. So there it is, Biológicos. Val de Cortem Vinhos Biológicos is the listing for them there. So what else have we got? I missed that blue. Yeah, you're just seeing the blue sky, aren't you, behind there? Is that a dog on the label? I don't think so. I'm seeing a cockerel and a little wine pitcher there. Maxine, good morning to you, Maxine. Hold on a minute. I've got some comments to catch up with here. 3 dias before the sparks fly between Andy and Margarita. Congrats, Andy. Have to meet up for a beer. There's a lot of beer being drunk. In fact, like all these beer meetings and wine meetings and possible lunches between the Good Morning Portugal could be only good for Portuguese GDP. Well done, everybody, for boosting the economy. If I'm still alive after Saturday morning with Louise, yes, what's going on there? Tell us more. And Pentium 2s, Silver Coast. Oh, Metamucil is a fiber supplement, good for when you're. I'm not even going to read that out. But the stars are aligning, perhaps, with all this talk of computers and Carl's right buttock. We can have a new definition of fiber optic. Pete, you're on fire this morning. When Mrs. M, you're on fiber this morning. And when Mrs. M investigates further, it's gone now. It must have just, maybe that was the way I was sitting. I don't know. Yes, missing that blue is Elra. Do you not have that in Finland? I mean, there is something about the Portuguese blue skies. They're not. It's something I love about this country, I have to say. David, is it pronounced videish in Portuguese? What was I messing up there that's caused Dave to say that? Where can we buy the wines, Carl? At their loggia and by mail order. Gary, come over. Come on, mate. And drive over here and go to the loggia, and you and me will grab some lunch. Pete, Garvo, yep, getting our perus. That's Portuguese for turkey. Bit confusing, isn't it? From the same place as Joseph. Should be fun. You'll have to let me know how big your oven is. Get your orders in now for the bleached turkeys. That's amazing. We want to know a little bit more about the provenance and the diet, please, Pete, before we commit to a Christmas purchase. Corn-fed, what diet are you going with there? Fascinating. He's really getting into it, isn't he? Is Pete Bleach? Living the dream. Homestead, farmstead, and growing your own livestock and veg and fruit, no doubt. Vidaish. Vidais is how I pronounce it. Anyway, it's Vidais, the town up the road from you. And that is the parish where Cortem are. We can sort that out later, Dave. But yeah, I can point you in the right direction. It's a top tip, I tell you. If you are looking for somewhere to live in the hills, and you want the Atlantic, 25 minutes away, Vidais, Cortem, Fanadia, these hilltop villages are awesome, beautiful views, and yeah, 80 kilometers from the capital as well. Really, really good. Chicken curry in Olyao is much more effective than Metamuse. Okay, health tips this morning. Appreciating those. Elra, well, Carl, well, yes, there are blue skies in Finland. However, I feel like the blue skies in the countries I have visited are never quite as deep as they are here in Portugal. Right? Might be biased. No, I think you're right. There is. I mean, that's of course why some of us call it the California of Europe, right? Because it's the same sort of blue sky and the light that you get in California and Los Angeles, as you know, the Tinseltown blue skies. I think. Okay, so talking of Tinseltown, we're gonna finish with a Frank Sinatra number. We need to go now. 10 o'clock already, would you believe? We need to go now to Bairrada region. Another classic winemaking region, not as well, much better known, in fact, than the Silver Coast wine production, which of course was huge, as Chris was telling me here centuries ago. More about the fruit now. Almost bought a house in Vidais. Interesting. So, okay, so a few people have got their eye on Vidais, sounding interesting there. Okay, and pictures. Oh, Place in the Sun. Just need to mention this quickly. There you go. Are you thinking, or did I already do this? Maybe I already did this, but here we go again. A New Life in the Sun. Let me just take that comment off there for a moment, Gary, so that we can see this. Are you thinking of starting a new business in sunny Portugal? Apply today and be on the next series of A New Life in the Sun. And there's the email address to do that. A New Life in the Sun at truenorth.tv. So they are looking for more people whose dramas will be showcased forever on a TV show. If you're coming to Portugal and you want to do that and you're starting a business as well, could be fun, right? Mix hot peppers with your Metamuse for a good time. Oh, hello, I'm back again. And what's going on now with all these comments here? No ETs, unfortunately, even for the European California. Joel, we live in hope. Or do we? See y'all in the man cave. Got my fit to fly tomorrow, 9 a.m. Oh, okay. Excellent. We'll see you then. See you later, mate. Right. Okay. So let's whiz up to the Bairrada, shall we? And here, setting the scene, there's one shot. And we're going to zoom in on here. So, I mean, you can understand Andy looking at this in his garden and thinking, oh, that. And then we zoom in a bit further and you can see a slightly bigger picture. But now, with the magic of video, let me share with you this beautiful creature, okay? Stop what you're doing. Seriously, you've got to watch this. Check this out. Absolutely. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I'm struggling with the technical. I need some nerd support here. Hold on. Let me get that off the screen. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I need a couple of things. Nerdy support. Show me how to use this software correctly. And can you hear that buzz in the background? Nothing to do with my right buttock. How do I, you nerds, how do I earth this? What I've done since I've rejigged the studio recently, there's an earth buzz. And what's the quickest and easiest way of doing that? When I pull out my charger cable, the buzz stops like this. And when I pop it back in again, there's a buzz. But maybe only I can hear that, which we can live with. Okay, isn't that beautiful? Let me just check again what Andy was saying. Now, Andy in Bairrada, who sometimes appears on here via Austin's Facebook profile. So there we go. Cutting a hedge. Apparently, it's a broad-bordered bee hawk moth. I thought it was a hummingbird butterfly. Never seen one up this way before. I believe they get them down south. It didn't seem bothered with me sticking my phone up its proboscis. Isn't that amazing? A beautiful thing captured there. Other images coming through, which I must share with you. Okay, we have Casa Malhoa. Okay, so the Malhoa Museum at is that Figueira de Vinhos? Is that right? What I've just said there. And I'm going to do my best to share that with you as well, because this is a lovely spot which you must go to. What was it? Where did Gary say that was? Figueira de Vinhos. I'm going to share that on the screen with you now because Linda has taken the time to share that with me. So it seems only right to do that. We're going to Google Images for this, and there you have it. Maybe blown up a little bit bigger on the screen so you can see what we're talking about. Yes, there you go. José Malhoa was the great artist who has a museum named after him in Caldas de Rainha. It's all about the Silver Coast today on places and spaces in Portugal on the Good Morning Portugal show this morning. But there you'll see is his country home. That's not a museum, I don't think. That was his country home when Figueira de Vinhos was a bit of a resort town back in the day. Oh, been right, buttocks doing it again. Okay, let's see what else. You're being very generous with your comments today, and I don't want to miss any of these, they're marvelous. Agapanthus, allium, yes, it's those will be agapanthus, I think. And yeah, so okay, the jury's out. It's a moth, says Maxine, and wow, says Louise simply there. Elra, well, that place, that's maybe the main reason they don't visit us. Lol, not sure why that is. You need better grounding, maybe. I definitely need better grounding, but how? No buzzing heard here. Thank you, Owen. Were you here when we played your jingle, Owen? Loving that. It was like a rave here. We can hear it, but only now you mentioned it. Okay, I'm going to get rid of it again. Raquel R is here. She dropped in yesterday. Bon dia, Carl. The tingling of your buttock has to do a lot with circulation. Just walk a bit more when you can. Take care. Thank you, Raquel R. You sound like you might be an expert in this in these matters. Let me put it like that. You're welcome, VB. I have the same one in my garden. This is the allium or agapanthus that we're talking about. You can go in it, Carl. It's open to the public. Okay, that beautiful place there. Thank you very much for that. And actually, there's a few shots of it here that I found now. It is Figueira dos Vinhos. It is a great place to go to, and it's in general as a part of Portugal to visit. But look, there's the particular home of José Malhoa, his country home. Nice place. Very nice indeed. And there's his statue outside, I suspect, as well. Thank you for that, the Austins. We're going to go back up to Póvoa de Varzim as well. Cramp in the wallet. Thank you very much. Another diagnosis just in. Thank you very much for that. Let's see then. I'm going to load up these pictures. I do love it when you send pictures in, folks. You can do that on 913-590-303. And this one from Mark of the camera in Póvoa de Varzim, which I'm just about to put on your screen now. And then check back in to Messenger because other pictures are incoming. Let's have a look. This is the blessings upon all from St. Peter. I guess it works that way around, doesn't it? St. Peter's Day celebrated a couple of days ago up there in Póvoa de Varzim. And this is what happens in Portugal. People make a big deal about these things, and it's great. It's a day off as well, isn't it? Which I think you'll have enjoyed up there, Mark Rigby. So thank you very much indeed for that, for sharing that with us. 913-590-303, the number to send, or the WhatsApp number to send your images into. Jenny, yes, we've got confirmation of Jenny tomorrow for Feel Good Friday. Hold on a minute. So I've got a few pictures coming in from Paul Richards too. Okay, we're sharing pictures now of old school tech, and I can't go without sharing these with you. I'm about to share with you the Mavica Sony digital camera, which actually managed to have a 3.5 floppy disk inside it. And what did Paul say? It has 12 pictures per floppy disk. Incredible times. And we've got another. I'm really pushing the technology to the limit. It's starting to groan now at this end, but I'll bring you them one at a time. Here is that camera, a video camera, and Paul quite rightly says, and he's tracked this change as Paul, with the changes in technology. I don't think he's using this professional needs as a photographer. Laggy as my push me technology too far now. It all seems to be freezing up. Hold on. No, it's back again. Easy. Here we go. And we've still got Les to come. Stay tuned for Les's rendition of Frank Sinatra, the 89-year-old who will be 90 soon, who we're sending birthday cards to. Check that out. That is a video camera that takes a 3.5 floppy. Incredible times. And also I've got pictures from Paul of recent meals he's eaten as well. We're always glad to receive those. And I think we've got a picture of Paul's latest tech as well. Here, if my technology will allow me to share, things have changed a little bit. Okay, I think I'm struggling to do that, Paul. Everything is grinding at this end like an Amstrad. My producer pals who send me messages, but yes, we're back. Excellent. Okay. Yes, Agapanthus, Kate in with a late comment. They're everywhere in the Silver Coast. Margaritas are made with lime juice, not lemon. Oh, very, very straight talking, aren't you, Kate? My favorite cocktail. Alas, we can't find decent tequila here to make them. Does anyone know? Okay, so there's quite a lot in that comment as well. Look, when life gives you lemons, you might have to substitute them for limes. Isn't that how the old the old saying goes? Must have been the floppy. Gone. We lost him and crashed. Reboot. It's like a commentary. Where does the floppy go on that camera? Her laptop has exceeded my demands upon it this morning. We need to start a GoFundMe to get Carl a new computer. He went to the dark side. I bet they have good cookies. Very good. Okay, let's finish. I think I am going to be able to bring you Les. I certainly hope so this morning. This is the 90-year-old man. Have I covered everything? Tiago from Amargo, who grows lemons, which, strictly speaking, yes, you need limes for margaritas. Okay, Kate. And can we help Kate with her sourcing of the items she needs for that? Ask our expats tonight. Join us at 7:30 for that. No wine club this evening. We've retired that for the time being. Not sure what's happening there, but no wine club this evening. Go to the Chippy before it shuts in Lisbon. Sign up for A New Life in the Sun. It's been a packed show this morning, isn't it? What with tingling right buttocks as well. Sign up for A New Life in the Sun if you want to be starting a business in Portugal and have that featured on a dramatic television show. And Cortem organic wines, of course, we featured. And I will tell you sometime soon what they're calling the orange wine tastes like. And maybe see you there for a wine tasting. And I'll drive the bus because my dry year is coming up. Finally, then, the wonderful Les, 90th birthday coming up in July. We want to send him pictures. We want to send him cards from all over the world featuring stamps which he collects. And when we first talked about it, he was singing a Tom Jones song and mentioned that women used to throw underwear onto the stage. Please send stamps, not underwear. However, daughter Sally says he might actually be quite happy to receive underwear as well. So either or, stamps or underwear, on a nice birthday card from around the world will be wonderful for Les. And here is this week's song from Les. It's a Frank Sinatra number. And I'm just going to have a little sip of water, nurse my right buttock, and take it easy for a moment as we enjoy Les's Song of the Week. And I'll get him here to introduce it himself. Have a great day, everyone. Abrazos, beijinhos, and adios to you.
Hello, everybody. Les here again. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who's been sending cards to me. At least I think they're cards, because my daughter won't let me open them until my birthday, which isn't until the 10th of July. So they've arrived quite a bit early. But thank you anyway, and I'll open them all on the 10th of July. I've got a song for you today by Frank Sinatra. I don't think I've ever sung one of his songs, surprisingly. It's called The Stars Will Remember. The stars will remember the night we said goodbye. The stars will remember, so will I. A rose as a token, a kiss that brought a sigh. The stars will remember, so will I. And now the stars and I, we share the lonely lane. But in my solitude, I hear you call my name. The world will forget you as time goes passing by, but stars will remember, so will I. And so the stars and I, we spend the lonely night, and in my solitude, I hear you call my name. The stars will remember the night we said goodbye. The stars will remember, so will I.